Hi everyone, my name is Fischer, also known as the New York City Broker. Today I'm going to share some tips with you discussing what you need to know about permits before renovating your New York City apartment. So, do you need a permit when renovating your apartment? Yes, you need a permit whenever you're renovating your apartment in a way that requires you to get a new or amended certificate of occupancy. You also need a permit whenever you're making renovations that involve 2 or more work types, like opening up a wall to change the pipes, which involves construction and plumbing. But you don't need a permit to make surface-level superficial changes like painting or replacing fixtures and appliances. These permits are issued by the Department of Buildings. Renovating an apartment, like a condo or a co-op, is different from renovating a brownstone. It might not be as costly, but you will have to do more than just secure permits from the Department of Buildings. You will also need to get permission from the co-op or condo board, and they may have their own requirements. These requirements include getting everything done by certified professionals, buying insurance, and paying for any building renovations that become necessary after your renovation. And it can still take a lot of time to get their permission. The DOB issues 4 different kinds of permits when it comes to construction and renovations. NB, or New Building, Alt 1 or Alteration Type 1, Alt 2 or Alteration Type 2, or Alt 3 or Alteration Type 3. What type of renovation jobs require a DOB permit in New York City? For apartment renovations, there are 2 types of construction or renovation jobs that you may need to secure a permit for. Alteration Type 1 or Alt 1 is any alteration that requires an amendment in the certificate of occupancy or a new certificate of occupancy to be issued is classified as Type 1 alteration. It mainly covers 3 different things: changing the use of the apartment from residential to commercial, changing occupancy of the apartment, like merging 2 beds into 1 or dividing 1 bedroom into 2, and changing the egress or entry and exit to and from the apartment. However, this kind of alteration isn't usually seen in individual apartments, but rather apartment buildings as a whole. The Alt 1 has 2 other variations as well, but they have no relationship to apartment renovations. You may need to secure an Alt 1 no work permit if you need a certificate of residency without any alterations. There is also an Alt 1 for new building requirements, which is required when you are increasing the original floor surface area by 10% or more. Alteration Type 2 or Alt 2 is any alteration that combines 2 different types of work or jobs like electrical work, construction, plumbing, etc. may require an Alt 2 permit. These Alt 2 permits may be under one of 2 different directives, Directive 2 and Directive 14. Type 2 alterations include things like adding a new bathroom to your apartment, moving a load-bearing wall from one place to another, changing the position of gas pipes, plumbing, or relocating electrical outlets. There are also Type 3 alterations, but they may not be required when it comes to apartment renovations because they are focused more on the exterior of buildings and brownstones. What renovations don't require a permit in New York City? If your renovations do not require any structural change or installations that might not combine multiple work types, you may not need a permit for that. Still, the safest approach is to contact the DOB or an architect to determine whether you need a permit for the renovation or not. A few renovations that don't require a permit are painting, updating wallpapers, or resurfacing the floor. Air conditioning unit installation, less than 5 tons. Sealing, caulking, and regrouting. Installing new appliances without rewiring, or replacing bathroom fixtures without the need to change the plumbing. How do you get a permit in New York City? The process of obtaining a permit starts with hiring the right people or firms for renovation jobs. If you are planning an apartment renovation that requires a permit, you will need to hire a New York State licensed registered architect or professional engineer. The RA and PE will have renovation and construction plans that will be submitted to the Department of Buildings for review. If there are any objections, they have to be satisfied for approval. When approved, hire a contractor that will then apply for a work permit. Once the job is complete, it either has to be inspected by the DOB representatives, or in some cases, the licensed professionals can certify the work. Secure a new or amended certificate of occupancy in case of an Alt 1 permit. One way to make the process of obtaining permits from DOB is to hire an expediter, also called a filing representative. These individuals are intimately familiar with the DOB procedures and can navigate them more easily than a typical homeowner like yourself might be able to. They save time and the cost associated with delays in permits. Thanks so much for joining me in this discussion regarding permits and renovating. If you have additional questions, please feel free to reach me at brett@thenewyorkcitybroker.com. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that you, your friends, and your family members can get all the best real estate content. I'm Brett Fischer, the New York City Broker. Have a great day.